So, Amara Imani tells us you're a librarian. That's quaint enough. What about your family? What do they do? My parents passed away when I was young. I was raised by a guardian, and I don't have much family left. The moment she said that, they called her a gold digger, an opportunist, a beautiful trap, but they had no idea who they were talking to. They saw a quiet woman with a simple life. They didn't see the errors of a global empire. A woman whose name was etched onto skyscrapers and foundations across the world. And on the day they finally pushed her too far, Jada was born into a world of unimaginable wealth. The Jada family name was synonymous with power, a dynasty built on international shipping, energy, and technology. But for it was a golden cage. She grew up surrounded by people who never saw her, only her trust fund, her connections, her last name. Love was a transaction. Friendship was a networking opportunity. She was tired of it. She craved something real, something pure. So, she made a choice that shocked a few who knew her. She walked away. She moved to a new city, took a small apartment, and got a job as a librarian. She told no one her real name, introducing herself only as Nia. She wanted to be valued for her mind and her heart, not her bank account. And it was in that quiet world between aisles of dusty books that she met Raphael. Raphael was an architect with big dreams and an even bigger heart. He was kind, funny, and saw the world with a sense of wonder. He fell in love with a librarian who could quote classic poetry and had a laugh that felt like sunshine. He didn't need to know her family, her history, or her finances. He loved her for who she was. But his family was about to test that love in ways neither of them could imagine. The first dinner at Raphael's family home felt like an interrogation. His mother, Elena, surveyed a simple dress with a critical eye. His sister, Zara, offered a smile that never reached her eyes. His father, Paul, shook her hand with a grip that felt more like an assessment. So, Elena began her tone overly sweet. Raphael tells us you're a librarian. That's quaint. What about your family? What do they do? Kept her story simple, the one she had prepared. My parents passed away when I was young. I was raised by a guardian. I don't have much family left. The temperature in the room dropped. Zara smirked. Oh, a charity case. How noble of you, Raphael. Raphael shot his sister a warning look. Zara, stop it. But the seed was planted. From that day forward, in their eyes, Nia wasn't a person. She was a project, a liability, a gold digger, waiting for her moment to strike. Every family event became a new trial. They would give her backhanded compliments. That's a lovely blouse. You can find the most amazing things at thrift stores these days, can't you? They would forget to include her in conversations, speaking of lavish vacations and expensive hobbies they knew she couldn't afford. Zara was the worst. She would whisper to Raphael just loud enough for Nia to hear. Are you sure about her? She's awfully quiet. People with nothing to hide usually aren't so secretive. Raphael defended her always. He loved her and believed his family would eventually see the woman he saw. But he knew better. They didn't want to see her. They wanted to see her label. The final straw came a year later at Christmas. The family gathered around the tree, exchanging expensive gifts. Nia had knitted a beautiful scarf for Elena and given Paul a rare first-edition book she'd found through a library archive. They were received with polite but cold thank yous. Then it was Zara's turn. She handed a small, perfectly wrapped gift with a malicious grin. This one's for you. I thought it might be helpful. Nia opened it. Inside was a book. The title in bold gold letters read The Art of Marrying Up, a guide for the ambitious woman. A few cousins snickered. Elena let out a quiet, disapproving tisk, but did nothing. Paul just looked away. The air was thick with humiliation. Nia's cheeks burned, but her eyes remained steady. Raphael stood up, his voice trembling with rage. What is wrong with you? We're leaving. He took Nia's hand, and they walked out, leaving the cruel laughter behind them. That night, Nia cried, not because of the insult, but because the man she loved was being hurt by the people who were supposed to love him most. 2 years into their relationship, Raphael proposed. He took her to a local park under a sky full of stars and gave her a simple, elegant ring he'd saved for months to buy. She said yes, her heart overflowing with love for this good, kind man. But when they shared the news, his family's reaction was ice cold. Elena pulled Nia aside at the engagement party. Her voice was low. I don't know what your game is, but I'm warning you. My son is a good man with a bright future. We will not let you drag him down. If you think you're getting your hands on his inheritance or his future earnings, you have another thing coming. We will be watching you. Nia didn't flinch. She simply looked the older woman in the eyes and said, "The only thing I want from your son is his heart. I'm sorry you can't see that." Elena scoffed, unconvinced. The threat was clear. They would never accept her. The breaking point came at Elena and Paul's 30th anniversary dinner. Raphael, who had recently received a major promotion, insisted on treating his entire family to a meal at the city's most exclusive and expensive restaurant. Throughout the dinner, the family directed all their praise at Raphael, pointedly ignoring Nia as if she were just a silent accessory. Finally, as the dessert plates were cleared, Paul raised his glass in a toast. "To our son, Raphael," he announced, his voice booming, "for his success, his hard work, and his generosity in treating us all tonight." He then turned his gaze to Nia, a smug look on his face. "And a special thank you to Nia for letting him spend his money so freely. It must be nice to finally enjoy the fruits of someone else's labor." The table fell silent. It was a direct hit, a public declaration. "You are a gold digger." Raphael started to object, but Nia gently placed a hand on his arm, stopping him. She looked at Paul, her expression unreadable. For years, she had endured their whispers, their insults, their judgment. She had stayed silent to protect the simple, beautiful life she had built with Raphael. But in that moment, she realized her silence wasn't protecting him. It was enabling them. It was time for the truth. Nia slowly folded her napkin and placed it on the table. A strange calm confidence settled over her. "You're right, Paul," she said, her voice clear and steady, cutting through the silence. "It is nice, which is why tonight the fruits of my labor will be taking care of this." She motioned for the waiter, who rushed over. "The check, please," for the entire table. Before anyone could protest, Nia reached into her simple purse and pulled out a card. It wasn't a typical credit card. It was sleek black and made of metal. She handed it to the waiter. The waiter's eyes widened in recognition. He had been trained to recognize it. The Centurion card, an invitation-only card reserved for the world's wealthiest individuals. His entire demeanor shifted from professional to deeply differential. "Right away, Ms. Imani." He paused, looking at the name on the card, and his jaw nearly hit the floor. "Right away, Ms. Imani." The name echoed across the table. "Imani." Zara frowned. "Imani? Why did he call you Imani?" Nia ignored her. She took out her phone, placed it on the table, and dialed a number on speakerphone. A crisp, professional voice answered immediately. "Imani Global, David speaking. How can I help you, Ms. Imani?" Nia's voice was calm and authoritative. "David, it's me. I need an update on the Sterling Tower acquisition. Did our final offer of 900 million go through?" The family froze. Forks hovered midair. "Yes, Ms. Imani," the voice on the phone replied. "The board accepted this afternoon. The Sterling Tower is now officially an Imani property." "Excellent," Nia said. "Also, please have my car brought around to the front of Lucille Restaurant in 10 minutes. The Rolls-Royce." She hung up. The silence that followed was deafening. It was heavier than any insult, louder than any argument. Elena's face was ashen. Paul's mouth hung open, his proud toes forgotten. Zara stared at Nia, her eyes wide with disbelief and horror, replaying every cruel jab, every condescending remark she had ever made. The book, the thrift store comments, the whispers. Raphael looked from his family, a storm of shock, confusion, and dawning understanding on his face. Imani, heir to the Imani fortune. A woman whose net worth could buy and sell their entire lineage 1,000 times over. The woman they had called a gold digger was the gold. Nia finally turned her gaze to Raphael's family. There was no triumph in her eyes, only a profound sadness. "For 3 years," she said softly, "I have listened to you call me unworthy. I have watched you disrespect the woman your son loves. I never said a word because I wanted a life where my last name didn't matter. I wanted a love that was real." She looked at Raphael, her expression softening, and I found it with him. Then back to his family. "Your son's love was the only fortune I was ever chasing. I'm truly sorry you were all too blinded by your own small assumptions to see it." She stood up, her posture regal. "The check is taken care of. Please enjoy the rest of your evening." With that, she took Raphael's hand and they walked out of the restaurant, leaving his family sitting in the ruins of their own arrogance, shrouded in a heavy, shameful silence. The ride home was quiet at first. Raphael finally broke the silence, his voice filled with emotion. "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because," Nia answered, her voice trembling slightly. I needed to know you loved me. Just me, the librarian who loves books and quiet afternoons, not an heir of Imani. He understood. In that moment, he loved her more than ever. The frantic, tearful apology calls from his family started the next day, but the damage was done. Raphael set firm boundaries, choosing peace over forced forgiveness. They built a beautiful life together. Nia continued to work at the library part-time because she loved it. With her immense resources, she funded Raphael's dream firm, which he dedicated to designing innovative, sustainable housing for low-income families. She didn't change, but the world around her did. The whispers stopped. The judgment disappeared because they finally saw her. Not the gold digger, but the queen who had been hiding in plain sight all along.